I literally, in all of my days, and I used to have a podcast where I would analyze texts, and they get weird. But this is probably the weirdest. Like, not outwardly the weirdest, but just like very lightly, subtly, the strangest message I think I've ever read. Hi there. I'm Anthony Resinello, a social skills and relationship coach who's been teaching people to be better with people since 2005. Yes, I acknowledge that is before many of you were born. And what you're about to watch is Textual Healing, a new show I devised that will teach you something about sending people messages and hopefully make you do a little giggly wiggly in the process. Oh, and if you want to be on an upcoming episode of Textual Healing, just check the description for how to apply. If there's nothing else you need from me, I think right now is a good time to begin. Let me send you off into Textual Healing Land. See you over there. Hannah? Hi!
How are you?
Good, nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Pretty good, how are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm doing good. I just got done with work, so I'm just trying to wind down now.
Really? And what's your work?
I'm a virtual staffing recruiter, so I staff for jobs like all across the U.S., so things are crazy right now, of course, with quarantine going on.
So do you like go to LinkedIn and like look for people on there?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Indeed, Career Builder, ZipRecruiter.
Are you called a headhunter?
I don't know. Nobody's ever really called me that, but I guess that would be technically what I am.
Tell everybody who you are, how old you are, where you're from.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Webb. I'm 27. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. And, yeah, I'm a recruiter for Kelly Services. I don't know if that's something
Headhunter.
you want to know, but yeah, that's pretty much everything.
Cool. And what is your dating life like?
Okay, so my dating life, I don't really have, I wouldn't say like a dating life just because I was like on and off with the same guy for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's a long time. We actually just broke up like a month ago. So I'm just now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm just now trying to like, I'm trying not to freak out and be like, okay, I don't really know what to do now, so.
Yeah. Are you like looking to get into another relationship, or are you just gonna take it slow?
Since it was such a long time, I don't think I'm ready yet to like get into another relationship, but I think that that's definitely something I would want for the future. Like I want to get married one day and stuff,
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely in the future. Just don't really know where that, like when that's gonna be.
All right, cool. Now let's talk about this conversation.
Yeah, let's.
But Britt, like back up the story for me. Tell me everything. Like, how did this all start?
Okay, so yeah, backup for this one is important. So I actually met this guy when I was a senior in high school, and he went to a different school. It wasn't like we knew each other from class or anything. We were actually cast in a play together, like in a church play together.
Yeah.
And we never got to know each other. He was kind of like popular, and I'm not like self-bashing or anything, but I was like a huge loser in high school. So we definitely didn't ever like get to know each other. He never talked to me, anything like that.
Yeah.
And then he started popping up in my messages when I was in college. And he would always mention that he was going to be in town for like a couple nights or something like that. And I was like, great.
All right. Let me ask you this.
Weird.
Have you ever been interested in him before he texted you?
No. I've never been interested in him. He's not like, when we were in the play together all those years ago, he wasn't really the type of guy that I was like interested in. He was kind of like a ladies' man
Got it. So you're not into like the ladies' man type of guys?
No.
But did you think he was like a good-looking guy, or is this kind of like a?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he was good looking in high school, but I haven't seen him in person since then, like since I was a senior in high school. So I don't know why he just randomly started messaging me in college.
Interesting.
I was like, this is
Interesting. Did you have like some sort of glow up or something in college?
It must have been a glow up. I didn't think I would. I started wearing makeup, so maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was like, oh, now she's getting into. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm about to look at right now, what you sent me, is this the first text he ever sent you, or how does this work? What am I looking at right now?
Okay, so he messaged me in college, and he was just, like I said, he said something about like how he was going to be in town for a couple days, and of course, it was 10 years with this same guy, so I was like, great, have fun, like,
yeah.
Then it didn't really go anywhere from there, but it seemed like he was trying to hint at that he would like see me or something. I don't know, but then just like literally 3 years later, he just comes in with this message, and there was no conversation or anything leading up to what you're about to read. So it was just random.
All right. Oh, and what should we name this guy? He doesn't have to be his real name.
Let's name him Bob.
Okay, Bob.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get into Bob character. Hold on.
Yeah.
Ladies man, messaging old high school playmates. I want to sit down with you when I come back home.
For what?
Ever since I was a young boy, I found you to be beautiful. I wonder what things you would be like now if I met you.
Thank you, that's so nice. I have a boyfriend though.
Oh. I'm not the kind of person that'd step in between something good. I'm happy for you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And that's the conversation. That's all he did. He swooped in real strong and almost like Shakespearean.
Yes, that was my feeling. I was like, are you trying to like woo me? Or like, I don't know what.
Or like almost like a romance novel.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, I don't know. Maybe he's been watching Disney movies. I don't know.
I think so. Maybe he's getting into those YA Netflix flicks. Young adult.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
All right, so Bob, let's break this down because he swooped in.
Yes.
But he was very respectful when you said you have a boyfriend.
Yes, and I appreciate that because some guys are not like that. But at the same time, I thought it was weird that he was like, I wouldn't want to. I'm not the kind of guy that would come in between you guys. I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, well, I'm not really letting you have that.
Yeah. Oh, see, I didn't even pick that up.
Yeah.
So he was basically saying, if I wanted to,
right,
I could take you from him.
That's what I was comprehending from it.
Yeah.
So
like you were something to be won, and he could get you if he wanted.
But he's telling me that he's not gonna let himself do
No,
that.
he won't let himself use his ultimate powers.
Right.
Yeah.
And mind you that he messaged me on Facebook, so he's, I guess, friends with me on Facebook, because we knew each other in high school. Mm-hmm. So he should know that I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, he would have seen pictures of us together and posts and stuff.
Okay.
So
now let's get to the first message here, because I really love breaking down the words of like what goes through somebody's mind when they send a first message. And the great thing is we don't know if he planned this for like 10, 20, 30 minutes, an hour, or this was just like, just like passion out of, Yeah. Ooh, I just want to sit down when I come back home.
Like maybe he saw like a picture of me in an Instagram feed, and he was like, I gotta message her.
Yeah. What do you think it means when somebody says, I want to sit down with you when I come back home? What does that imply?
Honestly, that's why I said, for what? Because I was so confused about how you would start a conversation that way.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Not even saying your name, hi, how have you been? It almost sounds like he thinks you live at a nursing home, and like you know, you're incontinent, you can't get up. He's like, I want to come sit down with you when you get back home. From that injury you had, I just want to spend some time with you.
Yeah. He's like, I think you need some company. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, yeah. I literally, in all of my days, and I used to have a podcast where I would analyze texts, and they get weird. But this is probably the weirdest. Like, not outwardly the weirdest, but just like very lightly, subtly, the strangest message I think I've ever read. Initial message, yeah.
Well, okay. I'm glad I'm not crazy then, because first of all, I love your videos. I love how you analyze things like
thank
this.
You.
So that's whenever I read the message, when you sent that Instagram story out, I was like, I've got to send him that message because it has stuck with me in my mind. I'm like, that was so weird. That
it's haunted you.
Came in with that.
Hannah.
So weird.
It has haunted you at night, hasn't it?
Right.
You wake up in cold sweats, thinking about him sitting down next to you and while you're in bed, staring at you.
When I think about getting back into the dating world, I'm like, this is what I'm facing.
All right, so then you said for what, which to me is a pretty rational response. And he said, ever since I was a young boy, I found you to be beautiful. I wonder what things would be like now if I met you. So ever since I was a young boy, how young did you know him at? Like, how old were you when you first knew him?
We were like 18, like 17, 18. So, and also he did not ever talk to me or show any type of interest in me at all. So and I was like, first of all, we weren't young when we met, and then also...
Yeah, and then how old was he when he messaged you there?
What?
How old was he when he messaged you right there?
Oh gosh, it would have been like literally like 5 or 6 years later.
Got it.
So we would have been like in our 20s.
Yeah. I wonder what things would be like if I met you now. After you said, thank you, I have a boyfriend though. He says, oh, ... Like he almost like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the kind of person that it's happened between. I'm happy for you. It's very creepy. Yeah.
It was just so quick. I was like, I just thought it was strange that like if he was interested in me, like wouldn't he have started a conversation or wanted to be friends with me or something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just so random.
Yeah.
Like
this is the thing when it comes to like messaging people for the first time, because like as creepy as it is, I do understand the place a guy or a girl must be in when they send a first message. And what our brain goes into like problem solving mode. And the problem is, how do I get this person to like me and want to spend time with me? And you know, when we have that when we have that helmet on, it's very hard to be normal, because we have left this like, hey, what's going on? Like just leaving it up to chance and going into like, I want to guarantee this. And then our brain starts saying all of these weird things. Like he there's a very good chance he could have wrote like, hey Hannah, how have you been? Oh, it's been such a long time since our play years and blah, 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 blah. And then he was like, wait, that's stupid. She'll think I'm a simp. Okay, what do I do now? And it's like, all right. Then he's like, hey, baby. Oh, no, that's not right. And he's like, a little more romantic. And then after like endless iterations, it could turn into something wildly just so ridiculous like that. And so like, when it comes to giving advice to men about, or women about how to message somebody first, is to like I think it's to leave that problem solving space of like, how do I make this happen? How do I guarantee this? And always just say, I'm always going to leave it up to chance. Like, I'm going to give myself just as much chance for this to fail as for it to be positive. I'm just gonna see what happens. And the funny thing is, when somebody does that, when I taught myself to just do that, leave it up to chance, I actually became a lot more natural. And guess what? Like, interactions, DMs, sliding into people's DMs just started working out a lot better, and people actually started responding to me. But I'm wondering, what if this guy, in his wildest dreams, like if he could truly actually somehow get Hannah to sit down with him, what would he have to say?
You know, I really don't know. Only because, you know, those like memes or whatever they are of girls that are like, if you didn't like me at this stage, like you don't deserve me at whatever. I feel like that actually holds up a lot of times in girls' heads, because I was a loser and he never talked to me when we actually knew each other in person. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now I'm like, I don't know. But if somebody wanted to like get to know me, then they could like just start a random conversation to see if we got along. But at the same time, I am a very like black and white type of person. Like, if you're trying to get with me romantically, I would rather you just tell me straight up so I can tell you like if I'm available or not, instead of it being like coded in all these like puzzles.
Interesting. These puzzles. So like, what would that look like if somebody, maybe not Bob, but if somebody did message you and it was, and like you said, just like tell me straight up from the start, what would that be? Because, you know, to a guy's mind, what does that mean? Like, hey, you want to go and have sex? Like, what does that mean? To a guy, that's what it means. So like, what does it mean to you when you say that?
I guess that's a good question. I feel like if I'm not like on a dating app, I feel like I'm not inviting you to try to date me. But at the same time, like if you want to start a conversation and have it start off romantic, I feel like you would start with like, hey, I thought you were pretty or beautiful or something like that. And then tell me something that you found interesting that you actually saw on, you know, whatever you found me on, like Instagram or whatever. You could mention something that I'm actually interested in that we could have a conversation about, instead of leaving it up to me to try to figure out how I can continue this conversation if I'm interested.
I think that was the best first convo that we could have ever done on the first episode of Textual Healing. Woo! Hannah, that was awesome. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, no problem. Can I plug my YouTube channel?
Oh, 100%.
Yay! Okay, just Hannah from Kentucky. Just check me out. It's fun. You'll have a good time. Check me out.
All right, Hannah from Kentucky. And is there any last thing you want to say to the viewers?
Just hi, and I hope you get to know me on my channel, and also give this video a like for Anthony.
Yeah!
Oh, what would be like your one piece of advice you could give me now that this 10-year relationship of mine is over, and I'm like about to enter the dating waters? I'm so scared. Okay,
so my first question to you is, where do you live? Do you live in a more metropolitan place, suburban, rural? Like, are there a lot of people around you?
I would say more urban. Like, I would say it's a little more populous than what I'm used to. I'm used to really rural.
Okay, got it.
But I am alone. I don't have, like, friends here. So I would have to go, like, by myself.
No, that's totally fine. This is what I would suggest. And this is what I tell everybody to do, because this is so much better than just going to a random bar or using online dating, even though online dating's fine. It's get into some sort of community or group that shares an interest of yours, right? So for instance, if you just were this photography nerd and you loved photography, street photography, whatever it is, studio photography, go on meetup.com, go on Facebook groups, there's so many places on the internet, but meetup.com is one of the best. and just type in photography, and you will find a group that has that interest. And they're likely gonna have events like once every month, once every 2 weeks. Go to those events. The great thing about that is there is going to be a more tight-knit social circle within that group, and there's not going to be any creepy guys in these type of places, because creepy guys are not trolling photography meetup groups, right?
Yeah, that's true.
They're trolling bars, they're trolling clubs, and they're trolling like sidewalks, you know? So when you go to these places, you're gonna find people that are, number one, interested in photography, and you connect with people from there. As you get to know them, your friendship or your attraction to them and their attraction for you is gonna grow as a result of the friendship you made. And that's so much easier to do because nobody is putting up that facade. Nobody is like anxious and trying really hard to do their best and putting on their, and you don't really get to know somebody so easily that way. When you're on an online date, which are, like I said, are fine, but everybody is putting on their best self. So it kind of takes a couple dates for you to actually get to know those people because they could be acting completely different. But when you meet them in a place where they feel so comfortable and it's something that you're interested in, the two of you are able to get to know each other so much more easily because you're able to show your real self, he's able to show his real self. And then as you guys make a friendship, there's no like pressure to be like, oh God, should we hook up now? It's like you guys could be hanging out for, a couple days or a couple group meetings, eventually hang out on your own and then start something from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it is
for
the
sure.
best.
I think that's really good advice.
Yeah, it's the best way to date.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
make friends.
And that's good too because I need friends.
Good.
Because I double text not feeling, I need textual healing. Textual healing, baby, is good for me. Textual healing is something that's good for you.
Hello, everybody.